All right, everybody. So I am very happy to have you inside of today's live stream. We're going to be doing some interesting things today. I tell you, there was something that was just on my mind today, and it's because I had this really awesome workshop today. And from that workshop, I decided to come home and take what I call a cash nap. Now, not everybody knows what a cash nap is, but what I try to do is when I'm taking a nap, I try to give my naps a purpose, right? Because I mean, entrepreneurs, we feel like anything that's not doing the thing that is generating revenue for us as a waste of time. But that's a part of our self-care. We got to pull it down sometimes, right? And today's workshop was earlier today was really, really on fire. So what I did was I came home and I says, listening to the room, and it was full. Everybody was there, and listening to the room, I would really like to come up with something. Now, this is what I said to myself before I literally started doing the cash nap. Is I said, I would like to come up with a couple of ideas that can help people put a couple of extra, $1,000 in their pockets, right? And that's what it really came down to. It's like, what can I do to help people put a couple of bucks in their pocket? Now, these ideas that I'm going to be sharing with you are maybe something that you haven't thought of before. And let me put my disclaimer out there. What I'm saying is not typical, implied, guaranteed, or even promised. But what it does is gives you an opportunity to see how you can do that thing, right? And we're going to just be using one of the promises I wanted to make to myself and to everybody out there is we're just going to use one source, right? Now, this is going to be a series. I'm going to be doing a lot of these so that we have a chance to, talk about a lot of ways to put a couple of extra bucks in our pockets. All right. So let me share with you. Now, I got my notes here. I'm going to be doing a little, here it is, right? I don't want to go off track, but at the same time, I didn't want to have like PowerPoints and all that stuff, right? We don't need all that. So here it is. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here in a minute, and then I'm going to go over it and I'm going to show you, I'm going to literally walk you through. Let me see. I might have some people coming in, everybody. So I got to keep a track of if anybody's coming in to the stream itself. I'm looking on YouTube too. So, all right, I should be able to see some things that's going on over here too. So just bear with me a little bit here, everybody. All right, let me see if I can go ahead and view. Some people might have decided to just go into the live room itself. So let's see. All right. Okay. All right, good, good. All right, so here it is. I'm going to be sharing my screen here in a second, and then I'm going to show you how I went about taking just one traffic source. Now, when I talk about traffic source, I'm talking about a place where people are. And I'm going to walk you through how I went in, and this was last week, went in and literally said that I was going to find out where people are and see if I can help them with some of the stuff that they're already doing. This is the cool part, right? Can you help people with what they're already wanting to do? Now, you've got different businesses, you got different things, but I wanted you to be able to take some of these ideas that you might hear today and then some of the strategies and then apply them to your own business. That's the key part. Okay. All right, everybody ready? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into this one traffic source that is, oh my gosh, it's a treasure trove of opportunity. And if people are sleeping on LinkedIn, you need to wake up immediately. And I'm getting ready to show you right now. So I'm going to be using a couple of apps, and this is, I think, will also help you understand that you don't have to go in there and heavy lift this thing yourself. All right. So let me go over here. I'm going to share my screen real quick, go into LinkedIn and show you a couple of things. This is where it's going to be fun. All right. So take a look at this. So hopefully everybody can see this okay. So here's what we're going to be doing. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this app right here. It's called Clio, Clio.so. Now, in Clio.so, what it does is it will tell me all the posts that are getting, a lot of rankings. Posts like, look at this, 326 comments, 242 reposts. And then what it's also showing is how many people may have come into looking at this particular post. Why people are sleeping on this? Again, I do not know, but we need to do something because LinkedIn is on fire. So when we go into here, this is what we're going to be doing. We're first going to see where people are. That's one of the key things, right? Why start something? Why take an idea, start it up, and you don't know if anybody even wants it? But what we do know is, because in this case, this is Gary Vee, he's talking about a very particular thing. You can literally see what he did here. He says, hey, look, don't get me wrong. Ideas and thoughts are nice. They're great. And then he goes into what he's actually saying about that. Ideas are nothing. Execution is everything. And that's why I wanted to call today action and income, because here's the big deal. If we apply the action, we give ourselves a chance to make the income. Now, we're going to do some public math here. So, my math genius is out there. I don't want no smoke. You're saying that math isn't right. Well, I'm going to do the best I can. All right. So watch this. This is what we're doing. What we're doing is going into this particular app. This is something that is free, and you can put it on. Well, they got a paid tier, but whatever. Right. But here I'm using the free version, and I'm just going in and I'm looking for what is trending. Now, this is where the tip is. What is trending then allows us to see what we might want to make content on. But I'm going to take I'm going to flip the script a little bit here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we can take what is trending from an author inside of here, and then we're going to do something that can help us make some money for ourselves. Watch this. Okay, so we look at this. This one right here has got 4,000, 41 people saw it, 103 comments, 604 reposts. So that's the big deal, right? When you start thinking of reposts. Okay, I think I'm hearing somebody coming into the stream, y'all. So I'm gonna let some guests in. So let me go ahead and let her in. And okay, here we go. We got some guests coming into the live stream right now. So I'm gonna jump back into what I was doing here. Okay. So now here is the big deal, everybody. What we have ourselves a chance to do. Hey, let me view this tab again. Hold on. There it is. All right. So what we have a chance to do is look at what's in here and what's going popular, because we start asking ourselves, if something is going very popular, then maybe whoever wrote it might want to do other things. And this is where the opportunity is going to exist for us. Or when you see something popular, you may go, hey, I can create content around that, or I can create products around that, or your service might be about that. So this is what we're doing, that Clio app. And we're going in here and we're just looking for what's popping, right? And I'm going to show you something that I did off of what was really, really popular inside of here, and what I ended up creating from it. All right, so here's the one that I ended up choosing. But if you notice here, this one's got 260 comments, 120 reposts. That's telling you an important thing, that people are getting down with this. This is mattering to people. All right, here's the one I really like. This one right here by Dora Van Orek. All right. And she says, culture isn't what you promised on career pages. It's what your people feel on Sunday evening. And now that made me think. But the big idea is that we're just going to look and see what she says here. See how many people are commenting on it. Look at that. 411 comments. Now, this is an outlier, everybody. Why? Because look at this. 1,978 people came in, 400 commented, 131 reposted. So that's telling us a story. Now, how we then can make our money from LinkedIn, this is one tip. I want y'all to write this down. One tip is we make our money because we may put something on LinkedIn and we're going to have links in there that lead back to stuff that we own, stuff that we want to do, stuff that we want to sell, things that we want to represent. Okay. All right. So that's the first one. Now look at Gary. This is March 23rd, 9 a.m. He's also posting something here. He says, quiet listening to people who don't want you to win or quit. I'm sorry. Quit listening. That's for real. We know family sometimes, friends sometimes, competitors. Well, of course, that's their job. But sometimes they don't want us to win. Why? Because it says something about them. Now, let's get to what we're going to do with this. 215 comments, 77 reposts. So you're seeing here, I'm hearing a little, I'm hearing some somebody talking. So I hear y'all over there. All right, so here it is. Look at this. We're going to keep going. We're looking for things that we can talk about. We're looking for things that we can take the information and recreate it. And then maybe we're looking for an opportunity to send a message to that author and say, hey, listen, I got some skills. Would you like to trade those skills? I'll show you that here in a second. So that's the key thing. We're using this app to go in and find trending topics. It's really, really cool. Look at this. We go in here, we say, okay, all right, great, great. Before finding the gym, I was a massive screw up. So here's somebody. I also would love for you to look at this and see what is making them trend. That's one of the cool things, right? 94 comments, 48 reposts. All right, so we got it right here. Alex Hermosi, we got 255 comments, 16 reposts. That's not a lot of reposts for that many comments. So that's what allows us to go. But look at this one right here. Adam Grant said March 22nd, 10:30 a.m. He says, great leaders don't obsess about being liked. They care about being respected. And then he goes into more information. So watch this. He says, you bend over backward to accommodate others. Respect is deep regard. It's earned by being principled. You stand up for your values. Okay, now why I think that's important is because look at this. People are saying, oh my gosh, they're going nuts. They're reposting it like crazy. 11,000 people checked it out. All of that kind of stuff, right? Now we look at that and we ask ourselves a question. Who is Adam Grant? Does he already have other things going on? And then what I'm going to be showing you here in a few seconds is how we're going to take one of these posts. We're going to create stuff from it. And then we're literally going to go out there and ask the person, would you like to work with me? Literally, that's what we're going to do. All right, so check this out. I want to make sure that I am, okay, great. I'm on the right sharing link. So watch this. So I went back up here. I loved what Gary says, but Gary's got a lot of followers. But this person right here, culture isn't what you promised on your career pages. For the amount of people that came in, she has all of these comments and reposts. So here's what I did next is I went and I grabbed the URL, everybody, right? So I'm giving you a tip now. So you should be writing this down. This is how you can do what I'm suggesting and showing you, recreate what I'm showing you, and then do exactly what I'm telling you to do so that you can go out there and position yourself. Now, again, like I said, nothing's typical, implied, guaranteed, or even promised. We don't know if, somebody's going to respond to you, but at least gives us a chance. And I'll break that down for you here in a little bit, right? We got about 20 or 30 minutes and I'm going to go over it. I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. Now, this right here, we're going to grab the URL. Now, the URL is going to be really, really long. And so we got to kind of do a couple of things to get it to where we can share this on one of the apps I'm getting ready to show you here in a second. And on this app, what we're going to do is take this long post and we're going to condense it into an image. Now get this. This is a pretty decent sized post. It's not terrible or anything, but look at this. This is, it goes pretty good, right? Got all these bullet points and all that kind of stuff. Now you say, well, look, this is her stuff. I'm not going to take her stuff. Whatever, right? And that's what we're not going to do. But what we're going to do is we're going to leverage it. We're going to be inspired by it. We're going to create something, and then we're going to send out a message to her and say, hey, I love your post, and I created this for you. Do you want it? And I'm going to show you how the math works when we start doing that at a higher level. Watch this. Okay, so I'm going to go over to another app. Give me a few seconds because this software has to, has to recognize it. Okay, here it is. Share this one instead. Let's see if this is it. Okay, great. So hopefully I'm on, yep, I think I'm on the right one. So now look, this is what I did. This is going to be called the Gamma app. I will leave you some information if you want to use it for yourself. Leave you some information. But look, this is what I created for him. I'm going to pop it open real quick. All right, now this is what I created. Now remember, over on LinkedIn, it was like this big old long whatever she was talking about. But what this app allows us to do is now create something really, really tiny like this. right? So that looks like somebody that's sad. They don't want to probably be doing whatever it is they're supposed to be doing. Sunday, they don't want to get to work the next day. And like she said, listen, culture is how people feel on Sunday. In other words, before they have to go back to work. That's the key part. You know how you would go home and you're like, oh man, I can't wait for Friday, but it's Sunday now. Ah, this stinks. So, anyway, this is what I'm going to show you now how we can take something like this, use this app to then go out there and create from what they wrote, and then ask them if they would like us to do more of that, and then ask them to pay us. All right, so here it is. So you see what it did? It condensed it down. Now I could have did a whole bunch of other things. This app is very, very powerful, but I want to stay on track and make sure that you see the point here. All right, I think I got somebody else coming in, y'all. So let me let them in. Okay. Okay. It looks like she bounced out. All right, and then she's coming back. All right. So let me go back over to this. Here we go. So in this particular case, we created just this little snippet. Now, here's the wonderful thing is that we can do a couple of things with this. First, we're going to go ahead and take a snip of this. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and download it. It'll download this image of what she said. Real culture is how people feel on Sunday night. They condensed it down. And then what we're going to do is we're literally going to send her an email, send her the image and say, hey, listen, I really, really, really liked your post. And I was able to condense it down into a soundbite with an image. Now you can use this. This is you talking to them, right? This is your sales pitch. You can use this image on LinkedIn to kind of repurpose your content. Now keep in mind that a lot of people that are putting out these articles on LinkedIn, they're busy. They got stuff to do. So you come in and you're making an offer to condense it, but you're not just coming in trying to hang your shingle up and says, I would like to work for you. You're showing them what the work that you would do. And this is the power of it, right? Now I'm going to do some math here in a second to show you how, if doing this at a larger scale, how you can maybe put a couple $1,000s in your pockets. So, okay, we understand this. We got this. We can tell them then you can put this on Pinterest if you want to. It makes a nice little pin. I'll do it for you if you want to contract my services, blah, 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 blah. Now, we can go further and do a few more. But what I would like you to consider is getting a list of 100 people that are on LinkedIn putting articles out. Now, this is the key. This is where the people are. You see that the post is popular. That means people are literally responding to it. So now you got a creator, an article writer in LinkedIn that is popular, whatever it is, right? They may not have this other function. They may not have the ability to repurpose their content like you're going to offer to them to then, get that service. Now, here's the key. Let's say we do 100 people like that, right? We go into LinkedIn, we use Clio, and we use this app right here, and then we go and find 100 articles or people writing articles. Now, you could do it yourself if you got more time than money, or you can hire a virtual assistant. What I did is I hired a virtual assistant. She got me a list of 100 people. Now I can send them messages. She got their email, the whole thing. But my email is not going to just be, hey, I'd like to work for you. It's going to be, hey, listen, I really, really liked your blankety, blankety, blank, whatever it is, article, newsletter, whatever it is. And I created these things for you. You can have them. If you want to work with me in the future, here's the math. Now, here's the money, y'all. Here's the math, the money math. All right, so imagine this. Now, I got my handy dandy notes. Here it is. So you contact 100 people. You're going to show them that example or several examples. Let's say 10, just 10%. Now, 100 people contacted, 10% really like the fact that you went a little bit further than just getting in their DMs and saying, hey, I want to work for you. You showed them something. You gave them some stuff. You did some work. So let's say 10 of them say, hey, I'm really interested in that. I like what you did there. What else can you do? Now, you can do a lot more, but you're just showing them a couple of things that can help them, make more content out of what they're doing, put it in different places, and of course, make them money and give them more impact. Now, here's some more math. And let's say of these 10 people, so you got 10% of the 100 that said, yeah, I'm interested. Let's say of that, half convert. In other words, half say, you know what? That's really cool. I like what you did there. I like the fact that you went out a little bit further than other people have done. And let's say that five of them say, I want to work with you. Now, here's the math, y'all. We did 100 names. We did some stuff for them. 10% said yes, or 10 people. Of that 10, 5 says, yes, I want to work with you. Now, here's how we go and put this money in our pockets, right? So we start asking them, okay, here's what I charge for to work with you. I'm going to, you come up with your own package. I'm going to do 4 of these. I'll take your latest articles. I'll go back into your back catalog, whatever it is. I'll take 10 articles, however you want to do it. Now, we're going to be using AI to make it easier for us so that we can get this done for a lot of people. So here's the math. Now, you got 5 people that said yes. Now, we're going to say, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's the math. Let's say we want to get to $5,000. Now I said a couple $1,000s, but let's say all 5 says, you know what, I want to work with you. And you says, well, I'm only gonna, it's only gonna be about $1,000 a month, and I'm gonna do, 4 or 5, whatever it is you decide. A lot of people ask for more because guess what? But you don't want to shock people's, money bags, right? So you say, okay, it's gonna be $1,000. Let's say you just want to earn a $5,000 extra a month. So you're gonna say, listen, I'm gonna do it for $5,000 or for $1,000 because I really like your stuff. I just want you to keep on creating, and I'll do the back end, recreating it, creating these little posts like this and all that kind of stuff. Now I got my handy dandy calculator. So, okay, 5 people say yes to your $1,000 offer, and you make it even more enticing for them. You say, hey, listen, it's only going to be $500 down, right? So now you got 5 people giving you $500 down. They seen your work. In fact, the cool part about this is that the fact that you've already done 1, 2, 3, or 4 pieces, now they're going, well, wait a minute, this is a pretty good deal. I'm getting something. You're not just asking me for the whole 5 up front. You're not doing all that kind of stuff. You're saying, just half down. In fact, keep what I've already done for you, and let me show you some areas that you can place those things. Okay. So if you have 5 people give you, get this, half down, that's $2,500 extra in your pocket a month. All because you used a couple of apps that cost you maybe, 30, $40 a month, whatever it is, but you just put an extra $2,500 in your pockets from working with people. For literally going out there and saying, hey, this was interesting, using some AI to now help you with the process of whatever it is you're doing. You don't have to be a techie. All that kind of stuff is a no. You don't have to do all that kind of stuff. All you have to do is get out there and start finding people that are already creating stuff and make an offer. That's one of the cool parts. Now, keep this in mind. That's $2,500 down. You finish it fast. Why? Because you're going to be using this AI, what I just showed you, to literally go out there and create it really, really fast. When you deliver the rest, they send you the rest of the money. So imagine if you got this done in a couple of days before the month was up. This is the key. Before the month was up, and they sent you the second half of your money. Now you've made $5,000 in 1 month. All because you went out there, you went on LinkedIn, you checked out some articles, you then recreated some things over here in Gamma. Now I'm going to show you how I do it. So let me make sure everything is good here. Yep. All right. So how I do it then is I go and I create all kinds of stuff for myself and other people. For example, look at this. You see all these gammas in here, your brain GPS. I create all kinds of things for people that might want this kind of work done. I send it out to them and I says, hey, listen, what would you like to do next? And they tell me, well, oh my gosh, now you don't obviously have to tell them that you got your buddy AI in the background helping you. But the point becomes you don't have to be a technology wizard to go and leverage some stuff that is a technology wizard. Go out there and make some conversation with people and say, I'd like to do this thing for you. Are you down? They might go, yeah. And then get this. This is what happens next. Because you now have done something like that, you should be thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute, I can do that not only for their stuff, but I can also do it for my own stuff. And that's what I want you thinking about. I want you also thinking about, yes, you can also do it for yourself. Right now, I can show you a couple of things here. What I do is I've got a link, and I'm going to pull it up real quick, and then I got to show this tab. All right, great. Let's see, make sure it's got it. Okay, so I got all kinds of different affiliate links, but that's my jam. That's what I do for a living, right? Is now go out there, have all my links, and then I'm going to go out there and do it for myself, and I'm going to do it for other people. That is the tip, y'all. And I want you to be able to see this. So uh, when I talk about all the different things that I then get myself into, it's always about that kind of stuff, right? Let me double check, make sure this tab is showing here. Show this tab. All right, so let me see. Okay, I'm going to show you how it looks, right? Now, again, not a brag, just a blueprint. Understand, it's just a blueprint. So let me double check, make sure this is sharing the right tab here. Okay, here it is. It's showing. So now this is what you'll see here. This is my PayHip, right? This is the Monetize Your Life Guide, which is me. And these are the different products that I have inside of my PayHip. Now, the cool thing about that is that something like PayHip, and again, I don't want to go too far. I don't want to I want to make sure that you're getting this, but I'm just showing you that you have a great opportunity. All right, looks like it's showing the wrong one. Hold on. Let me get off that. I want to make sure it's showing the right tab. Okay, so hold on. It did for a minute, but then it stopped. I'm seeing it over here on. Okay. Come on. All right. So anyway, you see this tab here. I'm going to go ahead and get out of this. All right. And this is the tab it should be showing. Double check here. All right. View tab. Yep. There we go. So in this particular one, here it is. Right. This is another app that I use to put different products that I create. And this is the key part. We're going to be creating like crazy, creating for ourselves, and then also offering to work with other people. That's the cool thing about this, right? Is we have a chance to now create like crazy from stuff that we already see. This is the key part. We already see this stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and switch back over to this tab right here. And this is going to be the LinkedIn post again so that I can share this tab and set it up. There we go. So we'll see. I'm looking at it over here on YouTube. So again, if you notice what we're doing here is, okay, come on, stop sharing. Stop sharing that one. Let's see if it gets me back to what I wanted to get back to, y'all. There we go. So if it's showing this one now, then we're in good shape. LinkedIn. I'm going to double check this because it's acting a little weird. All right, let's double check this. I see you in there. All right, so I'm going to show you another one. All right, and this one right here, I got to just hit share screen. It's all good. So this one right here, when we then are thinking about how we do this, where to find the people again, and I'm going to bring this all to a close. This is why we're doing it this particular way. Share this one instead. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, that's what I want. But I tell you, sometimes tech does go kind of slow. So let me get out of this one. Get out of this one. All right, bear with me, y'all. Back to LinkedIn. We're going to go back to LinkedIn. All right, here it is. Back on LinkedIn. At least it's supposed to be. So anyway, the main thing is that we're constantly saying to ourselves, how can I get out there and make this extra money? But I don't want to guess. That's what I want to share with you. And I'm going to wrap it up here in a second by showing you the math. The math is if I can go on LinkedIn, I see it over there now. If I can go on LinkedIn, just one source. Now, there are tons of other places. I'm going to be doing this in the series, showing different places, different traffic sources. When we think of traffic, we think about where people are, what they're doing when they're over there. And then what are we going to do once we get over there to start saying, okay, like I did with this lady's thing right here. I took all of this. This is her stuff, of course. So I'm not, taking her stuff or nothing like that. I'm just saying, hey, I like what you did there. Can I suggest a couple other things? I'm making sure somebody's coming into the live stream. Okay. So you see, I'm not taking her stuff, none of that kind of stuff. I'm literally saying I loved it. I condensed it. I created more stuff for you. Are you interested in working with me to do this all the time? I'm telling you, when people reach out to me, this is almost 100% for me a yes. When they show me what they're going to do and sometimes offer to do it for free. Now that sounds a little tough. Oh my gosh, what do you mean for free? Yes, I mean for free. Sometimes we do that, or we do something like this. I'm going to show you a couple other things that we can do. I see somebody is in. I'll show you a couple other things before we jump off of here. All right, I'm gonna get back to the studio. All right, stop sharing that. Come back into the studio. And here's the great opportunity, y'all, is that we take this kind of concept and we go to other things that we can do. Now, this is something that if you have somebody, let's say, for example, on a live stream, you're doing these kind of things, and what you're literally doing is saying, hey, I'm going to be sharing some really good things with you. If you're interested, now this is another monetization strategy. So y'all know how we get down on the Monetize Your Life guy. Couldn't be that if I didn't show you these things. So let's say somebody's on one of your live stream and you say something like this. You do this. You put in, hey, go ahead and buy me a coffee because, well, this is some good stuff. If you're seeing this on YouTube, like the channel, subscribe, comment, whatever it is, because this will also go out to YouTube. But you see what's happening here. You have a chance to not only share with people what's happening, how you can help them, but also give them a chance to then honor the work that you just did for free, showing how you did somebody else some other work for free. And now you can get paid in multiple ways. You're going to be doing it anyway. You're creating content. You're then going to package your own content. I'm going to be talking about that in some of the upcoming series, is how we can literally package content constantly. And that's what I wanted to share with you. So I want to show you this other one. What we also do is when somebody's enjoying your show, you then put in something like that and join the workshop, buy me a coffee. These just become opportunities for people. You can put it up here as well. That becomes just another opportunity for people to say, hey, listen, I really like what you did there. And I'd be more than happy to buy your coffee because that was really good. Now, this will also be showing on YouTube. So guess what happens? You take that YouTube views, I don't care if it's 100 views, 19 views, 77 views, whatever it is, then you have a chance for people to honor their work by saying, okay, yeah, I'll buy you some coffee. We've seen these QR codes all day long. So you have a chance to do stuff like that. In our upcoming workshops, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you how we're going to be doing a lot of social selling. These are things that we can do to go out there and put a couple of extra bucks in our pockets without having to be technology people, right? These are just apps that cost a couple of bucks, sometimes free, that we can learn a little bit, go out there and ask for the orders by showing people what we're going to do for them, stuff like that. And then say, hey, buy me a cup of coffee, whatever it is. That becomes the opportunity. Now I can show you some of the areas on this particular app where we could do live sales, but I'm going to save that for the next live stream that I do. And when we're going to be talking about how we're going to repurpose content for people, and we're going to go a little bit deeper. I wanted to keep these 30 minutes to 45 minutes to honor your time. And with that, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and put some questions in the comment section if you're seeing this on YouTube, and or if you want me to answer some questions for you right now, I will. Otherwise, I want to bid you adieu, and hopefully you got some really good value from this and you act on it. Like the lady says, hey, like Gary Vee says, hey, listen, ideas without action are nothing. And this is the big deal. I want you to act on every single thing that you're seeing. Ask me any questions. You can DM me. You can hit me on YouTube, whatever it is. Send a pigeon. I answer pigeons. And let's get this stuff in action, right? Let's get you a couple of extra bucks in your pocket. You saw the math. Reiterate, review real quick. Get 100 people that you found on LinkedIn using that free app that shows you what posts are going viral. We're then going to try to convert 10% of them. We're going to say, hey, okay, of this 100, can I get 10 to say they're interested? We're then going to try to get that 10% to a 5% of those people, 5% of those people giving you money, some money down. Now, you obviously got to fulfill. You can't get out there and mess around. That's fraud. But, you're going to get them to give you half down because you're going to give them things you had created from their content. People love to see their own stuff. They may have just been sending out an article or a newsletter on LinkedIn, and you got your apps and you're doing all these other cool things with it, and they go, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And I didn't have to do it myself. No, I'm to save you time. This is what I do for a living. And next thing you know, you're making $5,000 a month. Y'all saw the math work, right? 5 of those people paying you $1,000. Now that's cheap. $1,000 a month for you to go in and repurpose their content, give it back to them in all different kind of formats. Because even though they might have some of these apps too, they don't have the time and they don't have the interest. And you go, hey, look, I love this, and I'm going to find out where to put it for you. Give it back to them. They give you the money, and you've just made some cash and put some extra dough in your pocket. Hopefully that has been working for you. I will see you on the next one, everybody.